With the NFL draft just around the corner, there's a lot of anticipation and speculation surrounding the Dallas Cowboys strategy. The focus seems to be primarily on bolstering the team's defense, particularly the linebacker position, while also addressing other areas of need such as the defensive line, secondary, and special teams. The potential trade-down scenario presents an intriguing possibility for the Cowboys to accumulate more picks and address multiple areas of need effectively. By trading down from their first-round pick, they could potentially acquire additional second- and third-round picks, allowing them to add depth across various positions. In terms of linebackers, it's evident that the Cowboys are looking to revamp their linebacker core, especially with the departure of key players like Leighton Vander Esch and Eric Kendricks. Drafting a linebacker early could provide an immediate boost to the defense and help solidify the middle of the field. However, it's essential for the Cowboys to strike a balance between addressing immediate needs and selecting the best player available. The draft is unpredictable, and the Cowboys must remain adaptable and ready to pivot their strategy based on how the draft unfolds. Overall, the draft represents a crucial opportunity for the Cowboys to shape their roster for the future. Fans are eagerly awaiting to see how the team navigates the draft and which prospects they ultimately select to join the Cowboys family. Welcome back, Cowboys Nation. As we gear up for the NFL draft this week, there's a lot of chatter about potential picks for Dallas. Today, we're focusing on the buzz around Texas running back Jonathan Brooks. Adam Schefter recently mentioned that Brooks might just be a key target for the Cowboys, especially with their 56th pick. Despite his ACL injury last November, Brooks has been linked heavily to Dallas due to various pre-draft engagements and his surgery performed by a team-affiliated doctor. If Brooks hadn't suffered that knee injury, we might be talking about him as a first-round prospect. Even with the injury, there's a strong belief that he won't make it past Dallas at number 56. His potential fit with the Cowboys could be exactly what the team needs to boost their running game, given his impressive skills and the connection with the team's medical staff. Drafting a player like Jonathan Brooks could significantly impact the Cowboys' offensive strategy. A dynamic running back can add a new dimension to the offense, potentially elevating the entire unit. Brooks brings a mix of power and agility that could complement the Cowboys' current backfield. If he recovers well from his ACL injury, his presence could provide a reliable option in the run game, something Dallas has been aiming to solidify. Shifting gears, let's talk about Trey Lance. Stephen Jones recently praised Lance, emphasizing his work ethic and potential as a top pick. However, as Cowboys fans, we know that the true test will come in the preseason. That's where we'll really see whether Lance can translate his practice performance into game situations. The preseason will be critical for Lance. We need to see him perform well against live competition to gauge whether he can be a viable option at quarterback. His performance could heavily influence the Cowboys' strategy not just for this season but for the future as well. With the draft just around the corner, the Cowboys' strategy seems focused on shoring up the offense, particularly through the offensive line and potentially at running back with Jonathan Brooks. However, the overall strategy must also consider defensive needs. While much of the focus has been on offensive targets, the Cowboys also need to consider their defensive lineup. Enhancing the edge rusher position and adding depth in the secondary could also be on the agenda as they look to build a balanced team capable of competing at the highest level. Aside from focusing on a running back like Jonathan Brooks, let's not forget the Cowboys have multiple needs to address across the board. This draft is a crucial opportunity to bolster the roster in several key areas. Along with the offensive line and running back, the Cowboys could benefit from strengthening their defensive line and possibly adding a cornerback or safety to improve their secondary. Each pick in this draft will play a crucial role in shaping the team's future. Now, let's discuss the strategy behind potentially trading down. By moving from the 24th to the 32nd pick, the Cowboys could gain additional draft capital. This is vital for a team like Dallas, which needs to fill several roster spots with young, cost-effective talent. While trading down offers more picks and greater flexibility, there is always the risk of missing out on a higher-tier player available at the 24th pick. The key will be balancing the potential immediate impact of a single player against the broader benefits of acquiring more picks. It's also important to consider how preseason performances could influence these draft decisions. For players like Trey Lance, the preseason will be a proving ground. The outcomes could affect how the Cowboys view their needs heading into the regular season. If Trey Lance demonstrates that he's a capable backup or potentially a starter, it might relieve some pressure to draft a quarterback and allow the Cowboys to focus more on other areas. Conversely, if there are gaps in performance, it could prompt a shift in drafting strategy to address those shortcomings more urgently. Engaging the fanbase with smart, strategic draft choices is crucial. The Cowboys front office needs to not only fill roster gaps, but also excite the fanbase with promising talent that can ignite enthusiasm and hope for the future. Successful draft picks can energize the fanbase, leading to increased support and optimism. It's important for the Cowboys to draft players who not only fill a need but also have the potential to become fan favorites through their play and personality. As we approach the draft, the Dallas Cowboys are positioned to make some pivotal decisions that will shape the team's roster and future. The potential trade down, the focus on key positions like running back and offensive line, and the overall strategy will all be critical factors to watch. We're eager to see how the draft unfolds and how the Cowboys will maneuver their picks. What are your final thoughts and predictions? Share them in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going as we head into one of the most exciting times of the NFL offseason. As we dive into draft week discussions, let's focus on a crucial area for the Cowboys, the linebacker position. Stephen Jones recently highlighted a shift back to a traditional three-linebacker system. This move indicates a clear intent to be bigger and stronger in the middle, emphasizing the need for more physicality and presence at the linebacker spots. This strategic shift suggests that the Cowboys are looking to reinforce their defense against both the run and short passing games. It's a response to not just offensive trends, but also to their own roster evaluations from last season. With the NFL draft approaching, the Cowboys have been actively scouting linebackers, signaling that they might use one of their early picks in this area. Names like Eden Cooper, Junior Colson, and Peyton Wilson have been linked with the Cowboys through various pre-draft visits. Each of these players brings something different to the table. For instance, Cooper is known for his explosiveness and ability to disrupt the backfield, which could really enhance the Cowboys' blitz schemes and run defense. Given the departure of Leighton Vander Esch and Eric Kendricks, it's evident that the Cowboys need to rejuvenate their linebacker core. Drafting a linebacker early could provide an immediate boost and help solidify the middle of the defense. Linebackers are central to the defensive scheme the Cowboys want to run. They need players who can cover, tackle, and lead the defense. Waiting too long in the draft could mean missing out on top talent capable of making an immediate impact. Fans have mixed feelings about focusing heavily on linebackers given other needs on the roster. However, strengthening the core of the defense is a move that can pay dividends, particularly in a division with potent offensive teams. While some fans may prefer addressing the offensive line or secondary, the consensus is that improving the linebacker unit is crucial for the Cowboys to control the middle of the field more effectively. Beyond linebackers, the Cowboys have other needs, which brings us to the possibility of trading down. This could allow the Cowboys to accumulate more picks and address multiple areas, such as defensive line and secondary, in addition to linebacker. Trading down could be a strategic move for the Cowboys, allowing them to gain additional resources in a draft where they have specific needs across the board. It could also position them better to select players who fit their system rather than reaching for need. As draft day approaches, the Cowboys' strategy appears to be taking shape. Focusing on linebackers early in the draft reflects a commitment to solidifying the defense, which could be crucial for their success this season. What do you think about the Cowboys focusing on linebackers in the draft? Would you support a trade down to address multiple needs? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis on the Cowboys' draft strategy. While linebackers are a clear focus, we cannot overlook the need for strengthening the defensive line. The Cowboys have yet to make significant moves to enhance this area, and it's an aspect that could use some attention in the draft. A stronger defensive line not only helps in applying pressure and securing tackles, but also aids the linebackers by containing the run and pushing the pocket. It's essential for the Cowboys to find players who can make an immediate impact, possibly turning their attention to this need if they trade down for more picks. Special teams often don't get the spotlight in draft discussions, but they play a critical role in the overall team strategy. The Cowboys could look to bolster this unit by selecting players in the later rounds who excel in these roles. Players who can contribute on special teams provide added value, especially in the later rounds of the draft. Whether it's a hard-hitting safety, a speedy return specialist, or a reliable gunner, special teams acumen could sway the Cowboys' decisions on day 3 of the draft. With the potential of trading down, let's project some scenarios. If the Cowboys can secure additional second and third round picks, it opens up a plethora of options to address multiple needs effectively. Imagine if the Cowboys trade their first round pick and end up with 2 second round picks and an additional third. This could allow them to draft a linebacker, a defensive lineman, and perhaps add a developmental offensive lineman or secondary depth, all of which could contribute to the team's success. As the draft approaches, final preparations and strategy adjustments are crucial. The Cowboys front office will be finalizing their draft board, assessing the prospects' medical reports, and setting up contingency plans based on how the early rounds unfold. Adaptability is key in the draft. The Cowboys must be ready to pivot based on the players available and the trades that occur. They need to balance picking the best player available with addressing their roster needs, ensuring they make the most strategic choices possible. The NFL draft is always an exciting and somewhat unpredictable event. For the Cowboys, this year is about shoring up the defense, adding depth, and perhaps making some savvy trades to maximize their draft capital. Draft week is here, Cowboys fans. What are your final predictions and hopes for the draft? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to tune in for our live draft coverage where we'll break down each pick and trade as they happen. Thank you for joining us for this pre-draft breakdown. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our draft coverage. Until next time, keep your eyes on the draft and go Cowboys!